Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. This video is entitled, When a Woman Controls a Relationship, It's Over. Please thumbs up the video. It does not mean you like the video. It doesn't mean you like me. It simply means that you are interacting with the video. That's all it means. Don't let people say it means you like anything. All it is a 1 in a computer somewhere. And they like to count those ones. Also, if you want to subscribe, I was trying to go for 100,000 subscribers, but YouTube has seen fit to demolish the whole subscriber notification. You can subscribe, you can count on it. It will take your subscription off. So this is not a hateful video. This is a reality video. I'm a libertarian. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a libertarian. While this is not a political video, people have made relationships political. It's ridiculous. It's terrible. But it's what's done. You can no longer talk about a woman just being a woman. There's always some sort of politics involved. Can't talk about a man being a man. There's always some sort of politics involved. I didn't make it so. These are the times we live in. What we should be working on is getting politics out of everything that it does not need to be in. There should be absolutely no way politics should play any role in you being a man or you being a woman. That is ridiculous. That is that movie Idiocracy. There should be no way politics should be involved in you being a man or you being a woman. Do you understand me? And anybody who says politics should be involved in that is the enemy. We do not need enemies. They should be silenced. They are not working to the well wishes of society. Society has gotten quite along for centuries without politics being involved with you being a man or you being a woman. Why are they involving politics into relationships or you being a man or you being a woman? Because they want to control society. They want to change society. And that change is always promoted as being good when in fact it is evil. So now, what's wrong with a woman controlling a relationship? That is politics. That's all it is. There should be absolutely no way that a woman should control a relationship ever. Why? Because it's not her place. This video is going to make it crystal clear what's going on. Everyone knows smoking is bad for you. What most people don't know is that the body scrubs and cleans you out over a day or two. This is why someone who smokes and stops will basically be okay. This is also why it takes so long for smoking to do you in. This is the same way that a controlling woman in a relationship thinks the relationship is okay, and in fact, the man might even think it's okay. What both of them don't know is 2 things are happening. Any affection that the man has for the woman renews the relationship, slowing down the day he walks out. Number 2, any affection the woman has for the man slows down her inevitable hatred of him as a man and pauses the day she goes crazy and blows up in a fit of rage and calls him all sorts of names for not being a man, for not being a real man. Or maybe because she's so lost in this women should control men thing that she doesn't even realize that she's desperate for a real man to be in charge of her after a while. This is why hetero feminists cheat on their boyfriends after a while. Their boyfriends that they picked up specifically because they were basically women in pants, because they thought that's what they want. This is what they've been told they want. So they went out and got a woman in pants. Eventually, a man normalizes. He wakes up one day and realizes that he's a man. It happens all the time. And what's really scary for a lot of you women who believe in this men and women are equal stuff, it's happening more and more and more. It is now a trend, and it is unstoppable. So everything that you've tried to work for is going to come crashing down, sweetheart. A man sees another man, sees how women literally hug his arm as they walk, and basically cuddles him as they walk down the street. Clearly, that man is in charge of that relationship. Eventually, this man will sit down and realize that she pays the bill, she makes the money, he cleans the house, he's raising the kids, she drives the only family car, and it's hers. He cooks, he does the laundry, he wears an apron and house slippers. He's basically a woman in pants. Eventually, she figures this out too. Both of them wake up to this realization, and either one of them or both of them is done with it. He wants to be a man. She wants a man. But they can't change with each other. They have to go apart, to go their separate ways to grow into a real man and a real woman. And I'm saying a real woman because a real woman isn't trying to control a man. This whole advice that the new women are telling, finally the traditional women are speaking up, and they're saying let a man be a man, and today's woman is having a hard time even understand what do you mean let a man be a man? Now, this is only said by traditional women in a traditional role in a traditional setting. What am I talking about? I'm talking about church or some sort of like charity or something like that, where you have traditional women. And they're talking to younger women who are involved in those roles, who go to church, who do charity. And the young women are coming to him and saying, why am I having these problems? And they listen to them, they hear them, and they say, you gotta let a man be a man. When these young women then go and say this to these feminist women, the feminist women know that that's the exact opposite of what should be said, right? Because the feminists are fighting against that. So they're having a hard time with this let a man be a man. And what they're specifically talking about is let a man be a man in the relationship. Let the man be a man in the relationship. In other words, what they're saying is stop trying to be a man. It is not your role. Men have a role, women have a role. And they are specifically targeting that to change that. Supposedly, gender roles are wrong. Gender roles are bad. But the whole reason that there are gender roles is because the genders are physically adapted to those roles. Men are in charge. Men do the driving. Men do the work. Men do this and that and the other. Is because the men are stronger, tougher, have more stamina, can sit and focus for a longer period of time, because that's what he's evolved into being. I know it seems like society has come up with that, but that is a part of evolution too. And when you fight against that, you're actually fighting against science. Why? Because they have actually studied this. When they put women into roles in combat, they see that the women fail, and it is a catastrophic fail. That is a scientific term. That is not a social term. They're talking about they fail physically, they get harmed more, they're more successful to harm, and they can't go on for long periods of time. So the men are geared towards such roles, and women are not. As much as they psychologically tell themselves that they want to do those roles, they're not engineered for those roles. Now, it's in the news all the time. A big movie star or singer is interviewed, and the journalist asks, "Is she a feminist?" And she says, "No." The journalist asks, confused, and asks, "Why not?" And the big movie starlet says, "I love men. I love coming home. I love cooking for my man and rubbing his feet." And, do you notice, all the vipers come out and pretend she's wrong, when 50% of them have already come to realize that that's exactly what they want, and have left this whole feminist movement. You need to go take a look at the entire movement and see how it keeps dropping. The numbers keep dropping and dropping and dropping, because women are coming to realize that in this modern age, that the traditional ways are actually better. They're better for women. They're better for men. They're better for society. They're better for rearing children. They're better for the family. They want someone to love. They want to walk with a man they look up to. And I don't mean spiritually. I mean literally look up to a tall man. They want a man with muscles and a man to tell them no and put them in their place. What's funny is these women, some of the biggest feminist bloggers, at one point or even constantly write about wanting or meeting a big, strong, manly man. And they consider men in the feminist movement to be the enemy. Isn't that curious? So they have two enemies. They have the man that's out there, the patriarchy, this is the general population that they're talking about. And that's men and women. Society at large is the enemy, right? But when they talk about on a personal level, they're talking, the enemy is women who are not feminists, women who don't agree with anything that they say, and male feminists. They forever are attacking male feminists. If he does or says anything that they deem to be unacceptable, they will trounce him and run him out of the movement. So the male feminist is the enemy of feminists, versus the actual males, the manly men, are the object of their desire. They write about it in their blogs all the time. You see, that whole women are equal to men is fine at first, but when she's paying all the bills, raising all the children, doing all the work, cleaning the house by herself, and being used because she secretly goes out and gets curb stomped by every dude awake at 2 a.m. on Saturday, she finally comes to her senses. She gets tired. They say it all the time. "Well, I'm tired. I have to do all of this by myself. I'm tired of it." She turns into a girly girl all of a sudden, and all of a sudden she wants a man's man. She wants a big, strong man. Big, strong, handsome man. When she has done her very best to make sure that she is actually not attractive as a woman. She has done her very best to make sure that she's not considered a lady. She doesn't act ladylike. She has no ladylike characteristics. And for you women who are confused what a lady is, please go look it up in maybe some more traditional dictionaries, not the modern dictionary. The modern dictionaries are trying to keep up with your lingo, your hip new words. They're trying to go look up a traditional encyclopedia or dictionary, and it will tell you what a lady is. A lady doesn't wear pants. This is why I keep talking about a woman in pants. A lady doesn't wear pants. She doesn't insult men. She doesn't say anything crass to men, and she doesn't get violent with men. That's a lady. With a whole bunch of other stuff. But this whole notion that a woman is a lady, no, that is not true whatsoever. A lady's a lady. But she comes to the realization one day that now she needs to be a lady. And she wants to be treated like a lady. The problem is, more often than not, she's already too old for men to care. And that's the problem. That's the real problem. That's the real frustration that's going on now. A lot of these young women who would matter, and when I say they would matter, is these are the women who are middle class, go to college and get a degree, are used to a certain social economic status. They're not broke. They're not working at retail or fast food. They actually have a real-time job. They have real money and they pay real bills and they live in real places, right? They may still live at home, but they are used to a certain economic status. So those are the only women who would count to begin with. No man is really going to go out of his way to try and, to date down that much. If a man is going to go date, he's going to date just under his level. He doesn't date that far down. He might date up, but he doesn't date that far down. Women don't date down at all, right? But they finally wake up and realize that they've had it. They don't need this, and what they've been standing for. They were taught by all of these people who have infiltrated the colleges and stuff, and they have wasted their prime years, 18 to 29, their prime years. They've wasted those years thinking like that men and women are equal. They're not equal. Sorry to tell you that. When you can bench press, 335 with ease, you're equal to a man. You're basically a man, and no man wants you anyway, right? And the frustration then sets in that suddenly at age 40, they realize that they want to be a lady. That they want to, well, you have 2 kids. You have been, you've sort of ruined your life. And I'm sorry to tell you, but it's not attractive that you have children and that you wasted all of these years thinking that men and women should be equal. And all of a sudden now you realize you want to be a lady. You want to be treated like a lady, and you want somebody to cater to you. No, all of those men, first of all, are taken. And secondly, if any are available, they've already encountered you before. On your road to 40, they've already encountered you, probably a lot of times. And you all said you wanted to be equal to men. That's not attractive to a man. I'm telling you what's attractive. I'm not talking about politics. I'm telling you what's attractive. And you being 40 is not attractive. No man is looking for a 40-year-old woman. No, none. You can say it in your head that, there's plenty of men that date 40-year-olds. No man is looking for a 40-year-old. What do I mean? I mean that they're not looking for that. If you happen upon one and you go out of your way to introduce yourself and then think that he's a good catch and what have you, more often than not that's going to meet with tragedy on your part, because no man is looking for a 40-year-old woman. And even worse, 50-year-olds. They're not looking for them. But men are waking up. A woman controlling a relationship is doomed. Wake up now before she wakes up, or before she gets financially involved in your life. Because that's a punishment you might not get out alive with. But I have good news. Men are waking up. They're waking up to the fact that men don't really age. But they have come to the realization that the prime man age is 50. Why is that? Because he's established, he's got a house, more than likely he's gotten rid of any woman that was causing him any problems in his life, and he has money. He's collected money, and he's probably collected a lot of it. And at age 50, he probably has gotten rid of the whole divorce thing. He's got rid of the ex-wife. Alimony. He's gotten rid of paying off child support. He's gotten rid of all of that. And he has had time to start collecting, and he still looks good. Why? Because men are now taking care of themselves well into their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So the women are looking for 50-year-old men. And more men are waking up to this fact that even the dating sites are saying, that even the dating sites that are polling, it doesn't matter that women talk about I think this guy is handsome. I only like handsome guy. I want a guy 6'2". No. At the end of the day, you should pay attention to the overwhelming statistic that says women are looking for 50-year-old men. 40, 45, 50-year-old men. That's the stat that you should look at. Because you know what stat does not go with that? How tall he is, how fat he is, how bald he is. Doesn't matter. That whole he's 40 to 50, that trumps everything else that they just talked about. Sure, they want an 18-year-old boy. Sure, they want a 20-year-old guy. Who's 6'2", who's got a six-pack, who's got a chisel face. Yeah, at 20, that's what they want. But at 50, they're not looking for that. So all of you guys who were told that you had to be good looking, blah, 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 keep yourself in a little bit of shape, you're good to go. Plan your life out carefully, have some sort of financial acumen to you, watch my financial videos, you'll be good to go. Stay away from the women who say men and women are equal. Just stay away from them. I'm not saying call them names. I'm saying stay away from them. They are bad news for you. You heard it here first. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure people have told you that. I'm trying to tell men what's good for individual men. This is advice I would give my son. Stay away from any woman who says men. This should be like one of your first questions. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, your name's Sarah? Oh, do you believe men and women are equal? All right, bye. And that's it. And that's, you make sure you understand that first and make sure you stay away from that. Oh, but she's pretty. Oh, she's got big this and big that. Just stay away from it. Well, you know why? Because there's a woman who doesn't believe that, and you will be much, much, much happier with her. And she'll be prettier, and she'll have bigger this and that and the other, and she'll cook and clean and do nice things, say nice things to you. You gotta weed out all of these people that I'm saying what is good for you individually. This is me talking to you. Stay away from these women who say men and women are equal, because even the feminists are finally coming out and saying, that's not what I want. I want a big, strong, manly man that controls me. Thank you all for watching.